Okay, so what do we got here? I've got a B-Script Pro, I've got an Edelkrone slider, and then I have the Sandmarc Probe Lens to do this shot. And this is a low angle view of how I did it. So you come up here and I'm just doing a slow dolly push in. And then once I got to the end, I reversed it. So to do this kind of shot, you obviously need some sort of slider dolly. You don't have to have this one. I just tend to like it. I use it all the time. I leave it attached to my tripod pretty much, well, not pretty much, 100% of the time, especially for my YouTube stuff. But even when I do other projects and I'm using a bigger tripod, I like leaving this attached. It's really an indispensable tool that adds instant production value. Normally it goes side to side, but I've got it to where I can do it going forward or backward. And then I also had to put a little piece of gaff tape on the probe lens, as these lights here on my workbench were causing a flare. This is a really wide lens. I believe it's a 16 millimeter, and so you need to flag the light sometimes. The other thing is this setup eats up a lot of light. And so I've got my ISO set at 800 right now, which isn't too bad, but I have these lights here on full power, which I almost never do. And then I even turned on my above lights to get some light on this box right here that was in the beginning of the shot, just to give it a little extra punch. This is obviously a demo setup. I wouldn't necessarily shoot a real shot this way, although I could, depending on what you're doing. So now let's talk more details about this probe lens from Sandmarc. The lens comes with a bag, a zippered bag, which is pretty cool. And it additionally comes with a soft carry case inside the bag. So that way you can use the lens out in the field pretty easily with either the bag or the soft case, or you can load it in and use both for extra protection when you're out in the field or traveling, etc. Speaking of protection, the lens comes with a lens cap on the front and one on the back. The lens mount is 17 millimeter, and so you can use it on any Sandmarc case or other case that accepts that mount, like reflex, etc. And that also means cages. I found that putting it on a case works totally fine, but if you're doing anything more robust, it's probably a good idea to use a cage. It is a macro lens, and so it's a 16 millimeter, as I mentioned earlier, but the nice thing is you can get super close, I believe up to half an inch away from a subject. But then additionally, it will work as a regular lens. In other words, a lot of macro lenses you could only use it up close. If you're trying to focus far away, it won't work. This will, as I demoed in the actual dolly shot. It also has a manual focus ring you can use. I haven't used it a lot because I'm using the Blackmagic camera app and I'm using autofocus, but it's a good idea to focus on your shot and then set focus in the app. But I'm using autofocus with focus peaking, and it seems to work pretty well, but it is nice to have this option. Also built into the lens is a ring light, an LED ring light with a couple different settings. And so if you were shooting in, like, for instance, a cup or any kind of a hole and there's no light in there, you would definitely want to use this. But for me, I find that it kind of makes it look like deer in the headlights, so it's not as quote unquote cinematic. So if you can, try to light your scene without using it, but it is absolutely nice to have this option. And I should mention that the kit comes with a USB-C charging cable for the ring light. Overall, I think the probe lens is a really cool addition to any mobile filmmaking kit, but really any filmmaking kit. Before these were available for phones, they were primarily used on higher-end cameras for higher-end jobs. But now with the advent of Apple Log and shooting ProRes, this could absolutely be used in much more professional applications. And so while this is definitely a specialty item, it's affordable and easy enough to use that it could be in anyone's filmmaking kit. So if you're interested in the Sandmarc Probe Lens, I've got a link in the description. Thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.